This is the line for the Anne Frank house that we're currently in. Sorry. There's Mom, waiting to go in. I don't know if filming is allowed inside. If it is, then I probably will film, but I won't talk. So you guys will just be able to see kind of what it looks like, but I'm not going to say anything, probably. Here we go. Okay, so Josh, you asked me to go see if I could find the monument for gay people that were persecuted during the war. And I'm pretty sure this is it. So it's called the Homo Monument. This triangle. There's a sign over here, which is really ill-conveniently placed next to a urinal that man is going to use right now. Great spot. Okay, so I was wrong. This is the triangle. Across the street from that triangle. I don't know what that triangle is. Back in Amsterdam. Nice city.
This is where we had a hard time crossing.
There's a massive gathering of girls over here. No idea what they're doing. But I feel like they're waiting for a famous person. We're in Amsterdam, like square now, and we're just looking for somewhere to eat, have some dinner, because we spent like almost 2 hours in that Anne Frank museum and we're really hungry. Funny story, I just passed a guy in the street who tried to hand me like a business card, and I said no thank you, and he said, oh, are you American? And I said no, Canadian. He went, oh, I'm so sorry, I hope I didn't offend you. I thought that was funny. Mom preferred to go eat by a small canal, so now we're leaving and we're on the road again. Let's go look for something. Pouring rain now as we eat.
We're from Vancouver and we had a spectacular summer too, but now it's starting to break down.
Canada is normally it's cold there. Canada is cold there.
No, Vancouver is probably very much like
very
Amsterdam.
similar.
Same weather.
Because I saw it, I don't know which channel it was, Discovery Channel. It was was freezing. Only one guy with a big truck, he saved all the people on the highway. You know, it was when he was not there, nobody can go to home. It was snow and freezing, you know.
Yes. Okay guys, so we're back at the hotel now. Sorry. So basically, well, right now I'm on the hunt to look for a vending machine so that we can get some chocolate bars. Because me and Mom had a really quick dinner since it was raining when we left. Oh, there's a deck out here. Can we go out? No, it's locked. Okay, anyways. I'm out and looking for chocolate bars because we didn't have dessert and we're both feeling a little peckish. I'm talking quietly because there's people in their rooms. Yeah, so today's vlog is really weird and I understand that. I didn't film very much, as you can tell, and it's pretty much from this point on just going to be me talking. So if you like to hear me talk, stick around. So as you guys know, may or may not know, maybe you don't know, and I'm wondering what the heck I've been doing this entire time. But we've been on a bike tour around Holland where we rent our bikes from this company called Dutch Bike Tours, and we bike about 30k a day to different cities in Holland. And one of the things we do is that the touring company books hotels for us in the different cities, and every morning when we wake up, before we leave our hotel, we hand in our luggage, and then at some point in the day a van comes and picks up our luggage and transports it to the next hotel so that it's there waiting for us when we arrive. We don't have to carry it on our bikes. There's no vending machine on this floor. So that's what normally happens, but today we underestimated how much time we had to hand in our luggage, and so we had just finished breakfast basically when they came up to us and told us that the van was waiting and we needed to give them our luggage. So we had to run upstairs and pack really quickly and just threw everything into a bag and then handed it in. But what ended up happening is that after we handed our bags in, we're walking down the street to go look at and tour Gouda before we left, and I pulled out my camera and realized that I didn't have a memory card because my memory card was still in my laptop, because every night I edit the footage that I take the day before. So I didn't have a memory card, which means that I couldn't film anything today, which is why this vlog is so weird. So we went and saw Gouda, and when we first got up and started walking around, there was like no one around. And the reason why is because it was a Sunday, so everyone was in church and all the stores were closed, so it was very quiet. And it just made me think of Doctor Who, because there's this episode of Doctor Who where the doctor says something like, I don't know which companion it is, but they say something like, well, maybe it's a Sunday, and he says, no, impossible, it can't be a Sunday because I never travel on Sundays because they're boring. And it just made me think of that. So we walked around a bit waiting for the shops to open, and then we went into the city hall, and then we went to the cheese weighing house. So Gouda, spelled like Gouda, is famous for the cheese, Gouda, and the cheese weighing house is basically an old building where they used to weigh in the cheese to price it, which is still done today, but like in a newer kind of factory building somewhere out of town. But this is like an old traditional building that's now a museum. So we went there and we learned all about how Gouda cheese is made, and it was actually really interesting. One thing we learned, Gouda is like the big wheel of cheese, and one thing we learned is that you have to turn the cheese like every day.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
At the beginning.
Because otherwise it gets
moisture.
dried out on one side or something.
Because the water, gravity, the water will all come into one side.
Oh, okay. The water will drain down to the bottom of the
And
cheese.
you get it concave, you won't get a nice...
So they keep flipping it. So that's something you have to do. So if you ever buy like a big wheel of cheese and you want to keep it for a while, you gotta apparently keep flipping it like twice a day. But also, Gouda cheese has different flavor depending how long you keep it for. And it's sold at various stages in its life for like different purposes. So we had some sampling of cheese, and we tried 4-week-old cheese, 4-week-old, 7-week-old, 4-week-old, 10-week-old, 4-month-old, 7-month-old, 1-year-old. And it can go up to 3 years. I don't know what happens after 3 years. I think maybe either cheese doesn't really change in flavor anymore, or it starts to go bad at that point. But they said just up to like last week they had 3-year-old cheese, but they're out now. So we tried up to 1-year cheese. It was very interesting. Me and Mom decided that we liked a 7-month and 10-month. Well, 7-month the best. 4-week was pretty good too, though. And then, not only is there a difference between how old it is, but in the Netherlands, you can get factory cheese or farmer's cheese. And the difference between those two is that the farmer's cheese is made with unpasteurized milk. So it's quite a different flavor. So we tried farmer's cheese of the 4-week-old cheese, and that was quite good. So we ended up buying, actually, a little... Oh, I'm falling.
Farmer's cheese.
A little wheel of 4-week-old farmer's cheese. It's packaged up right now. I think I can't open it because it's gonna break. Yeah, it's gonna rip. But in here is a little tiny wheel of cheese. So then we got on our bikes, but today was supposed to be our day that we were to ride 70 kilometers, not 30 kilometers. So every day we've pretty much been riding 30 kilometers, except that we've pretty much been doubling our kilometers every time because we keep taking wrong turns and everything. So we'll get like our instructions and it'll be like, oh, this will only take you 2 hours, and then it takes us 5. So today was supposed to be 70K, and it said it's supposed to take us 4.5 hours, and we just knew that it wasn't going to take us 4.5 hours. It was at least going to take us 9 hours, if not like 12 hours. And Mom was game for that, but I wasn't. So I just really wanted to take a train, and take the bikes with us on the train. And that's what we ended up doing. So we went and found the Gouda train station, we got our train tickets, we took our bikes. That was all quite an adventure. And then it was only an hour train ride and we were back in Amsterdam. Easy peasy. So much better. So last thing, we went to the Anne Frank house, and like I said in the lineup, I wasn't sure whether we were allowed to film, and it turned out we weren't allowed to film. There's actually really confusing instructions. They said no photographs, but they had us cross on a camera. So it was kind of like, and I just watched what everyone else was doing and no one else was filming, so I didn't think I should. Some of the most interesting things that I was surprised by. Anne's name in Dutch is pronounced Anna, which is something I never knew. So I feel like almost in English we should spell it A-N-N-A just so people pronounce it right, because that's closer to what her name is. So her name is Anna Frank, really. Also her diary, they had the original diary there in like a glass case you could look at. And her like when you think back, you're like, oh, she got a diary in the 1930s. I think of a really plain black book or something. But her diary was like, it had stripes on it and like pink and blue. It was very colorful and like lively of a diary. What else? Oh yeah, they had a video of like interviewing some old ladies who were friends with Anna Frank. And there was one woman who was talking because she had been Anne Frank's neighbor and her classmate when they were young. And when the war broke out and everything, she got taken to a concentration camp. But this is something I didn't know. So she had some sort of Paraguay citizenship. And apparently, like, Nazi Germany had some sort of pact with Paraguay, so they couldn't, like, condemn Paraguay Jews the same way. They couldn't treat them as harshly. So she still got sent to a concentration camp, this lady, this neighbor and friend of Anne Frank's. But it was like the concentration camp had like a private section for like these Paraguay Jews that was slightly better living conditions, slightly more food rations, and every couple of weeks they got help from the Red Cross or like things sent to them. And their part of this concentration camp was blocked off from the other people by like this fence that they couldn't see through, so you wouldn't be able to see across to the other place. And so this woman got sent to Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, and that's the same one Anne got sent to on the other side of the fence. And somehow, while she was there, they didn't really explain how, she found out that Anne was on the other side of that fence, and the two girls found each other and would talk to each other over the fence. And she decided she wanted to help Anne, so when she got her Red Cross package, she threw it over the fence to Anne Frank, and she said that was the last time she ever saw her, because Anne Frank passed away at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Oh yeah, the living conditions. So they all live in the secret annex, and there's Anne, her sister, her mother, and her father. And then there's another family of a man, a wife, and their son. And then there's one more random man who's not related to anyone. And it's weird because there was like Anne's mother and father and sister shared a room. The two parents of the other boy shared a room. The boy had his own room. And then the random man, shared a room with Anne Frank, which me and Mom can't figure out. Why wouldn't Anne and her sister share a room? Or why wouldn't the boy and the man share a room? Why would Anne and the man share a room? That just seems so weird. We don't know why. Someone explain why. And we got to spend a few days here in Amsterdam. Tomorrow we have a whole day to look at stuff. And then the next day, we're going to Efteling, which is a Dutch theme park that I've requested we go to, because I just think it's so cool to go to like a different country and go to like a big theme park. And like what would a Chinese theme park be like? Like, I just think that's a cool way to see the like, not culture, but like, it's like a similarity, I guess, between different countries. Like, everyone likes the theme park, and everyone enjoys it in, like, all languages. So let's go see what Dutch theme parks are like. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!